thank you all who already make time to join this webinar of your busy schedule, and also sort of like want to congratulate you. We know that the last 2-3 years has been very difficult, so congratulations that we have been able to adapt to the situation, and now we are at a junction where we see the recovery is coming, and hopefully this is going to persist. All the signals actually point to that strong recovery and being able to capture for the future demand that available. So my name is Vero, and with me, we are from the partnership team from Google Travel. This is my email address. If you need to ask us any questions, you can also drop us an email to this address. And today we have a few things that we want to share, things of value. But before we share, Ravil is going to actually conduct a poll, just 2 questions. Feel free to answer the questions, and some of the topics will be actually discussed along this webinar.
Right, Phil, I'll start with the poll number 1.
Fantastic.
Yep, we have 5 of 8 responses. I'll
Fantastic.
quickly, I'll end and share the results.
Yes, yes, please. So I think just from the high level, right? Some of you do not have never heard about Google Business Profile. Some of you have heard of Google Business Profile but haven't used it. So we are going to discuss this topic later today, and hopefully we can understand what is it about. And maybe the second question, Ravil?
Yep. Second question.
Okay, thank you everyone for participating. So I think it's quite clear. Sorry, Ravil, can you show the results to the audience as well? Yeah, I think it's quite clear on the topic of rebooking links. A lot of people have not heard about it. And this is to be expected because this is a newly launched feature. It's just launched last year, but it has so much potential. And we are going to go through this topic also today. Hopefully, this can bring value to your business. All right. Okay. Thank you, Ravil. So let's start with let's start with the state of travel. So understanding and adjusting to the user's online journey will be more important more than ever. So if we have one takeaway for the webinar today is this, right? That COVID-19 has changed the way we do business, right? It has accelerated the digitizations. In fact, actually, when I look at my mom, who is a strong shoppers, right? Physical shoppers. During the COVID-19, I saw her like shopping online and reach window shopping online, right? So I know that COVID-19 really has changed the world, right? And our travel industry is no exceptions. I think in the future, at least 25% of future travelers is going to be very comfortable trying to find information and trying to do booking online. So it is more become very, very important in the future to really have a very good presence and infrastructure to capture this demand online. And where we are also in the industry, I think in APAC, we are seeing as a consistent recovery across the countries in APAC. If we look at Maldives specifically, right, the demand for hotels represented by the number of search for hotels in Google across 2020 to 2022 July, you can see that before COVID, and this is actually the beginning of COVID, and this is the time where COVID has become the global pandemic. We see a downturn. But Maldives is one of the countries that opened up earlier. So there was some demand, but if you look at the trend, it looks that the demand is actually increasing. The search interest for travel is actually going up. And if you look at the last 2 months, you can see that actually the search is actually increasing. So hopefully some of this search interest, the demand, right, will translate to become bookings in a short period of time. So what can you do to be ready? So this is a big question, right? One of the privileges for us in the partnership team is actually to be able to speak to a lot of hotel associations, and also technology partners for the hotels, supporting the hotels to build a presence and distribution in inventory online. Is that we hear a lot of stories, right? The pain points of different hotels embarking in digitalizations, and everybody is at different points in this journey. So today, we hope, regardless of where you are in this journey, we will be able to share with you things of value, something that you can use to actually improve your presence, or to actually augment actually what you have done to optimize it so that you can actually have better results. So the first one is Hotel Insight. What is Hotel Insight? First of all, I will do a demo on this later. How to utilize this tool is actually you go to hotelinsight.withgoogle.com, or you search Hotel Insights in Google search, and then you will be able to go to the platforms. So what is this platform about? So this platform is actually to help you to understand demand better. So when we say understanding demand, we are talking about understanding a lot of data points, and internal data will include like data from your website, data from your bookings, also your interactions with the user. These are very valuable data that you can actually use to try to understand the kind of customer, the kind of demand that is suitable for your business, for your hotel, right? But what we have today is actually an additional data, external data that we are going to provide with you. This tool is free to use, so you can use it. And this is different from Google Trend. I think some of you have heard about Google Trend before. Some people find Google Trend a little bit difficult to use. So this tool, Hotel Insight with Google.com, is something that has been developed by our team, specialized for the hotel industry, easy to use, so that you can use it very simply, and then you can gain results from it. So let's go there to the website, and so this is the Hotel Insight. You go to hotelinsights.withgoogle.com, or search for Hotel Insight at Google, and you will arrive here. So what you have to do is just to select your market. So in this case, let's go for Maldives, right? And then we continue. And then you will have high-level understanding about the search results for accommodations in Maldives. Where does this search coming from, and is it an increasing or a decreasing trend? So right at the get-go, right, you will see that there is an increase between 10 to 25% for search interest for accommodations. And if we compare it in the span of like last 12 weeks, comparing it to, so the orange one is representing this year, the black line is last year, and the dotted line is 2 years ago. So we can see that this year, generally speaking, the search for hotels in Maldives is actually increased, right? So that's a good news. And if we look deeper in terms of where this demand come from, we can see that more than 90%, I think, comes from international searches. But it doesn't stop here, right? Because I think in Maldives, you want to capture as much as international travelers as possible. So you can click here, and then they will give you a breakdown. So in this case, in the last 12 weeks, about 70%, 7% of the searches come domestically, but 93% comes internationally. And we can see also about 37% from Asia, and then 56% from the rest of the world. And it doesn't stop there, right? If you go down, there is a breakdown of where this demand coming from the country perspective. So in the last 12 weeks, we can see that about 24% of the searches actually come from India, and then 16% from United States, and 8% from UK and Germany. So if you understand, if you combine this with your internal data, you can actually, this data will be very useful for the marketing team to actually shape some packages of offer that you can actually propose for your potential customer. Or if you are actually also employing some ads campaign, you will know where to focus your market on. In fact, if you want to go more granular, you can actually click on one of the countries, and then you can see additional information, including which area, which city this demand actually coming from. So this is a very good tool. Please feel free to come to this site and then play around with it, and then try to understand the data here, combine it with the data that you have internally to find some insights. Hopefully this will be useful to form your offerings in the market. So let's go back to the presentation. Yeah, so Hotel Insight, it will help you to understand the interest for hotels in your area, what is the trend, and also where the interest is coming from. Also in this platform, if you go there, there are also some steps. Especially if you are new to the online distributions or online promoting your distributions online, there are a lot of articles, basic and fundamental articles to help you understand, capture the demand from online. Especially if you are building a new website, you want to know what kind of websites will be optimized for mobile, for example. There are tons of resources that you can actually find over there. Second one is Google Business Profile. And Google Business Profile is one of the fundamental, right, in building your presence online. It's like having a social account, but for your business. For travels, a lot of people actually have a lot of different journeys in their travel search. Some start maybe by watching YouTube, or maybe they are was using their social medias, and then they're inspired to get travels, and then they start to search and plan for the traveling. But very often, more often than not, right, Google search is part of it. So in whether it's early, middle, or end stage of their search, the planning, they will actually touch on Google search. That's why it's very important to be able to represent your businesses in the most effective way. And Google Business Profile allows that. Google Business Profile will surface the most important informations to the user about your hotel. So if you have not have an account, you have to get one. How to do that? You go to google.com/business, and then you can do a sign up. You fill up the information, the address, the locations, and then the photos, and then you will be asked to do verifications. They will send a postcard with you to you, and then once you get the postcard, you finalize the verifications, and then your account will be live on Google. So once the account is verified, there are a lot of things that you can do. You can engage with your customer by responding to messages or reviews. You can also communicate important information, like if there are changes due to COVID, right? You can do some posting. Oh, now that COVID is an endemic thing. Maybe like you want to have a post about something else, you can do posting now. And also, which we will be touching later, is also about adding the eco attributes. So first of all, if you already have a business account, one of the things that you can do is actually to update your Google Business profile. And what we know is actually 29% of customers are more likely to consider purchasing, in this case booking, with the businesses if they have a more complete profile, right? And there is even a bigger number than this. 90% of customer is more likely to actually interact with your business if there are good photos in your profile. So if you created your business profile 5 years ago or 10 years ago, and there are some changes, significant changes, you should update your business profile. You should update your photos, because it's gonna increase the chance of people actually interacting with your business. And we know with the rise of understanding about global warming and the adverse effect of it, the emerging trend is people are looking for ways to travel sustainably. And you can actually capture, you can actually highlight the efforts that you have done, your hotel does, by updating it in the Google Business profile. So you go to the account, and then you can actually add an eco certifications if you have one. And if you don't have one, you can also add your sustainability practices. And what we'll show later we'll do a demo, how users actually interact with Google platform to find hotel that have these eco certifications. So this is one example. If you already updated your Google Business profile, it will be highlighted here. So travelers that find this important, you have an advantage over hotels that do not have this label. Okay, the third thing is a little bit more advanced, I should say. You have to have a Google Business profile in order to participate in free booking links. First of all, what is free booking links? Free booking links is one of the way you interact with the Google users, right? So the information of hotel is actually surfaced in Google in many surfaces, in the Google Search, Google Maps, and Google Assistants. All these three platforms combined, it has more than 1 billion users using it every day. So if your hotel actually present over here, it has the potential to reach out to new customer and being able to interact with these users all over the globe. And free booking links is not only showing the data of your place, but also showing a very important data that is your prices, right? We will do a demo for this later, but let's just move on. For hotel search, we are going to go through two examples, how actually user is having the experience on Google platform. One will be a categorical search, the other one will be a navigational search. So we will discuss this later, but the overview is, if it is a name of the hotel, they will have an additional information surface over here, where user can actually have a very high level information about your place, as well as the prices, because prices are always important for travelers. So this is, if they click through, this is the business profile that we discussed earlier. So a lot of information is going to be surfaced here, and this is a standard format, so that it's easy for users to actually digest the information that you are supplying to them. So let's do a demo over here. For example, the first demo is for a user that is doing a categorical search. So hotel in Maldives. When a user actually do this type of search, this is going to be the landing page. We see that the top part is a text ads, right? It's a keyword search, keyword ads, right? And then the bottom part is what we call the organic results, or what the industry call SEO, right? But what is rather new is the one in the middle, which is the hotel search function. This is a new way for a user to actually interact with information with regards to hotels. So in this case, right, people can actually see where the hotel is at, because there is the information actually laid out on the Google Map. Also, there are a lot of opportunity for the user to interact. For example, one of the interactions is the eco certification, right? If you have updated your hotels, if a user is very particular about traveling sustainably, they can do this. They can put the filter on, and then use Google will actually show only the hotels that actually has these certifications. So you will have an advantage, massive advantage in this case, to actually address this type of market. Also, another way is also someone who's looking for a specific dates to travel. Now they can actually key in their check-in and check-out date, and then the information will surface according to that particular itinerary. And then some user may be actually looking for a certain criteria. Maybe, for example, it has to have a pool. Google will actually surface the most relevant information to the user. That's why it is very important, as we discussed before, to actually update your amenities, so that when user actually apply this kind of filters, you will be in a better positions to actually surface. Okay, let's just choose one of the hotel. So suppose user actually choose this hotel, Arena Beach Hotel Mafuzi. They actually will land in an experience, what we call hotel experience immersion, right? In this page, actually, user can actually find a lot of information about the hotel. The overview is always the summary, so there are a lot of information here. But some of the user may go to a specific tab to find even more information. Maybe some of them photos are the decisive factor. Some of them maybe they are more concerned about what other facilities there, so they will take a look at this. Or for some backpackers, maybe they're more concerned about where the locations of the hotel, what are the nearby restaurants, right? So they will go here. Or review, we also have review. But the most important tab, arguably, is this tab, the prices tab. And the reason for that is data seems to suggest that when a user actually start to look and compare prices, that means they are deeper in decision-making funnel. So that means they sort of like your hotel and they want to know where they can actually book for the best value, right? So to be present in this tab is very, very important. And if you look closely, there are two distinct sections. The top is the app section, and below is the all option section. So the all option section is what we call free booking links. What does it mean? Why is it called free booking links? It is free booking links because it is free for the hotel to actually be visible in this space. As long as hotel is able to supply Google with the rates, Google is actually showing these rates to the user, to all of the Google users for free. We are not going to charge for impressions. If somebody is to click here, Google is not going to charge anything. If booking is happening, Google is also not going to charge anything for that. If you look at this space, last year before April, there is no free booking link section. So this used to be all ad sections. So it used to be all payable. A hotel has to actually make a bid, and if they win the bid, they will show up. So it used to be more difficult for a hotel to actually participate in this. Now, with the free booking links, as long as you are able to send us the rates, we are going to give these impressions for free, traffic for free. And if you are actually thinking like, but I want to be shown not only here, but also here, can I do ads on top of that? The answer is yes, but it's not compulsory. For many hotels, it is enough for them to be present on the organic results, and it is good for us too. It's fine with us too. So ads is not required. And also one good thing about free booking links is it is an organic results. Google is always trying to show the most relevant information to the user. And because this rate comes directly from the hotel website, it is relevant information. That's why Google give it an official site tag to actually highlight this listing. And also, most of the time, it will actually be on the first line or the second line because it is relevant to the user. So you may also have heard that this tab is called the battleground because in this space, people actually decide where they book their bookings, right? So it's very important to be here. And free booking links, you have a chance to be clicked for free. Free booking links is available in this tab. Also on this tab, on the overview, so that every time people is in consideration stage, you are always there to also fight with the rest of other platform that are trying to sell the hotel bookings, right? A second way a user can actually interact with Google is what we call a navigational search. This happens when a user actually search your specific name of the property. So if they do this, you will notice that the landing page is slightly different. So this part is still ads, but over here is showing the historical price of the hotel. And on the right side is the overview of the accommodations. And the prices are also shown here. The reason is because if a user is actually searching for a specific property name, chances are they like the property already. They have a high intent to actually understand the pricing and most of the time to complete the booking. So Google is surfacing these rates to make it easier for the user to actually complete the booking. So if you are not here, if you are not in the free booking links, you are actually losing a big opportunity to actually fight with the rest of the channels to actually for the user to actually complete the booking. All right, so these are two examples how in the modern days Google users can actually use the Google platforms and find information about hotels and complete the booking. Let's go back to the presentation. So to reiterate the value of free booking links, it is actually a new way because it's just launched last year. It is a free way also because Google is not charging anything for impression, traffics, or bookings that hotel got from free booking links to actually reach out to your potential customers. So as explained, the top 4 is reserved for the hotel ads, but the bottom part is the free booking links. So as long as you are able to give us this rate, you will actually be present for free. You gain free visibility and free reach, and hopefully some of these traffics converts to become a booking and not a normal booking. This is a direct booking. That means you have a greater control over the guest informations, guest experience on your websites, and also a better control of your margin for that booking. So that's a really great proposition. So how can you send the rates to us for Google to be able to show the prices on our platform? For most of the time, this will be done through your hotel partners, hotel technological partners. That is your property management system or channel manager or booking engine. So if you are not yet participating in free booking links, the first step is to check with your PMS channel manager or booking engine how to onboard the rates to Google. Okay. And then once you've done that, the best practices is always to make sure that the rates that you are sending through them is accurate, because it is very important that the user actually find the right rates. So the rates that you send to us and we display has to match the price that you have on your booking sites. Make sure that the booking page is also user friendly. And also very important is to update your business profile. Make sure that the name is the right, the address is right, and the phone number is right as well. All right. So I think I will stop here. There's a lot of information. I will welcome the questions later in the Q&A. But just to summarize what we have shared today, number one is Hotel Insight, where you can actually have an additional data point to augment your internal data points for you to be able to form your own market offerings and promotions. So that's Hotel Insight. Number two, we have the newly revamped Google Business Profile, updated so that you can optimize your presence online. And number three, if you have done that and you have not sent rates to us, make sure that you do that through your hotel tech partners, because that is actually another way to interact with the potential users. So with that, I'm going to close my presentations, and I'm going to pass back the time to Ravil and Arina to run the Q&A.
Thanks, Pharaoh. That was quite an insightful presentation. Thanks a lot for that. And we did receive one question while we were running the presentation, was that they would like to see a recording of the webinar. And I've answered yes, but I just want to confirm with you whether we can share a link for them to view this webinar later on, or how is?
Yes, no problem. I think maybe some of the people are not able to come at this point of time. So feel free to actually share the link so that everybody is in the know about this webinar content.
No problem. And yeah, for attendees, thanks for attending. So the chat function is open to you all if you want to ask any questions, or later on, I guess they can even email you directly, Pharaoh, as well.
That is correct. Yes.
I'll share your email address as well.
Okay.
And so if anybody has any questions, please feel free to type in the chat box. Just to remind you, there will also be a short survey right as we end the webinar. It will pop up. It will pop up in your browser, and we would really appreciate if you could answer that survey as well. But let's see for 1 or 2 minutes whether there's any questions, and then yeah, Pharaoh, I just wanted to ask you. So the verification process for business profiles. So you said that you will be sending a postcard, or?
That is right. So basically, when we go to the platform, right, and then we sign up for an account, there is a button to do verifications. So when we request verification based on the address that you have provided to us, they will send a postcard. The postcard contains some number, and then we can go back to the Google Business Profile to enter this account to make sure that your address is correct, right? Because one of the main functionality, right, the important one is it is connected to Google Map, and Google want to be able to direct the user not only virtually but also physically to the hotel. So we have to make sure that the address is correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there a virtual way for the verification process?
Now, yes, actually, we have received a lot of feedbacks about verification in the past, and they are actually improving. Depending on your region, there may be alternative ways to verify. And if any of you actually is facing some verification issue, you can drop me an email so I can raise a ticket internally to actually help assist with the verifications.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks a lot for that, Pharaoh. We have one question for Hotel Insights. Is there any possibility to get search data for the last 12 months and not just 12 weeks?
Okay, that's a good answer. So for the Hotel Insight, it is actually designed to be very easy to use, right? So there are some ways to change the parameters, but it's quite limited. But if you want to be able to be more flexible, you should go to Google Trend, right? So you can search it Google Trend. You can actually change a lot of parameters. You can actually search for a specific keywords, for example, or perhaps your hotel name in the span of like 3 months or 1 month or 1 year. So Google Trend would be more suitable for a more complex research, so to say. I hope that answered the question.
I hope
But
that answers.
yeah, plus spend time, go to the hotel inside and play around with it. I remember that there are certain periods that we can change, but it's quite limited. I think there are only 3 options or so.
No problem. So I think it'll be really useful that you're sharing your email address as well, because with verification, I think we also did apply previously, but I'm not sure. I need to follow up. The postcard one was where it was a little bit of a hassle for us. So we thought we would like, if at all possible, even via a Zoom call or virtually would be the ideal option. As you know, Twitter and these verifications are quite a hassle for us as well. So I think we would really appreciate if that aspect is simplifying.
Yeah. So I think we received a lot of feedback in the last few years about verification via postcards. So the GMB team, which is our cousin team, right? We have feedback to them, and they are improving the system massively. I think in the last few years, and depending on your regions, they can do video verifications, but it doesn't apply to all regions. Sometimes you just have to send some photos and some proof. It's also okay, but not to worry. If you do have this verification issue, which are not solvable through your regular method, because there is a way to actually escalate this request. But if it is not solvable by that method, let me know. I can actually get you in touch with the specialist.
Thanks, Phil.
No worries. Are there any more questions?
Are there any more questions? So
I think one of the questions that usually asked quite often in other webinar is the free booking links, right? It sounds too good to be true, right? Google is providing the services for free, and it is an interesting way of interacting, right? Because we are showing the rates. It is good information that users are looking for. So is it really free? The question is it really free? Or is Google going to provide it for free now, but is going to charge later? So these are very popular questions. And the answer to that is, this is going to be free. Google is not going to charge for impression, for traffic, or for conversion, for now and for forever, for forever, right? And the reason for that is Google want to actually provide the most comprehensive information to the travelers. And we find that the rates that is provided directly from the hotel website, right? From the hotel, right? Yeah. Is an important component that user want to know. Yeah. So it's a win-win situation both for the user and also for the hotels. And Google is happy to actually provide to facilitate this interaction for free. And if hotel want to do hotel ads, we are happy to support, but it's not required. If you're happy just by participating in free booking links, Google is also happy to facilitate this interaction with the user.
Yep. And this is a question.
Yes.
I have one question as well. So this is a question I just get asked from friends and family. So one thing with booking.com, what we find is, so in Maldives, we have a 10% mandatory service charge, and then we have currently a 12% GST, and as well for resorts, a $6 green tax. So this gets added on to the final price. And on some cases, the rate that you see on ads, it gets really, sometimes the end user will find, sometimes it jumps up by quite a fraction, and it comes as a price. And I noticed as well, even in the Google ads, the rates that come are the base rates. Taxes are not added. Is there thinking behind Google for in the future So when a customer sees a price, some even say it's misleading, some of the prices, because when they go to the final price, hey, there's a huge price difference. You think that's something Google will look into?
Yeah, actually, this is a very, very good question, right? So what happened is, actually, Google policy is to actually help the user to solve this problem, right? The prices that users see on the free booking links or on the hotel ads, right? By right, it has to be the final price. That means this includes taxes, service fees, or tourism tax, because different countries have different system, right? Sometimes they have a collectible at the point of check-in and all. By right, the prices that a user see on Google has to be the final price. And in fact, internally, Google work with a lot of hotel tech partner in helping the hotel to actually send these rates to Google. This is one important criteria, the price accuracy rate. It has to be a final price, so a Google user can click through, being directed to their landing page, and the number has to be the same. Or if it is not the same, it has to be different just by a little margin, because we want to actually address this concern that people feel like being tricked into the website. So this is actually with the Google partners, we are trying as best as we can to actually provide the most accurate prices. And if a partner is actually not compliant, there are penalties. It is possible that actually the ranking goes down, or we don't even show the rate for that hotel or the data that is supplied by the technological partner. But this is a process. I think every day we are getting better, and hopefully, sometimes not too distant from now, we can all have like a better price accuracy for all hotels.
All right. Thanks, Pharaoh. Thanks for that.
No problem.
Appreciate it. Yep. So we had 10 more minutes. So if there are no questions, I don't think there are any more questions coming. Shall we?
Yeah, I think
no more questions.
No more questions. Okay, that's great. So if you have questions but a little bit shy to voice out right now, not to worry. My email address is ferolianto@google.com. You can drop an email to me, and then I'll be happy to answer your question later. And also to remind you, there is a post-event survey. Please take 2 minutes to answer the questions. And I think one of the questions that we put forward is what topics that you are most interested to learn more next. The reason why is building an online presence in Google. There are many aspects to it, right? There is SEO, there is text ads, there is hotel ads, and depending on where you are in your journey, you might want to focus on certain things. And if we receive your feedbacks, there is like a great needs for particular topics. So we know where we can actually support the hotels in terms of like trainings and topics. All right, that's all from me. I would like to thank you again, Ravil, Rina, Yasir, and all the teams in Mati. It's been a great experience, and hopefully people are benefited by this content now, and also those who are watching it later. And yeah, look forward to future engagement with Mati.
Yep, thank you, Pharaoh, the team behind Google Travel, APAC, and Google. I hope we can, as you said, host more webinars on different areas. Okay, so we got another more question. Okay, it's just regarding the webinar. Okay, I'll send the link to them. So yeah, thanks. I hope we can continue more trainings and webinars and enhance our partnership between Mati and Google Travel APAC in the future. And thanks for all joining. Thanks for taking some valuable time. Take time off your valuable schedules, and then we'll send the link to the webinar recording. And I hope to see you soon in the future as well. Thank you all. So I'll close the webinar.
Thank you.
Bye all.
Bye-bye.